live in a long time. Reasons being that I have been very busy. I think I've entered level 6 of being busy. And to God be the glory. I think from March I would have to put out flyers looking for who is a bit art inclined. So I'm going to hire the person. So I mean, it's nice that for a first year, I'm now looking to hire somebody. By the grace of God, I'm going to have more workers, but I need somebody to help me in my work because I can't do this all alone. I have lost weight because I've been trying to do everything at the same time, and the way I am, I don't know, I make decisions impulsively. I don't really think. So by the time I sit down, I'm like, I would have actually reached out to this person. This person would have helped me. So I need somebody to assist me that is art inclined. So by the grace of God, I will find that. So I came here for my sermon review because I'm going to be away from YouTube for a long time, for 2 weeks or so. So I'm not sure I'm going to go live. So I wouldn't want the sermon review to wait. Sorry. Because the weather is hot. That's why you always see me wear singlets often. Alright, so I didn't go to church on the first Sunday, but I went to church that week. Hi, I'm a digital artist and a mechanical engineer. And if you're looking for work, I would love to apply. That depends if you're in my location. Sorry. Ah. Sorry, I had to go and believe. That depends if you're in my location. If you're in Port Harcourt, then no problem. I will. I don't know. I'll put the flyer out there, but you can check my Instagram, and then I think it will link you to my business page. But it's not really a big pay, but it's something tangible. It's something tangible. Yes. All right. So let me do my sermon review. Um. All right. So on Wednesday, which was last week Wednesday, I went to church and what was being taught was called the topic was boundary markers. And I'm not in my Bible here. I don't even have to start opening Bible. But you know, in Celebration Church, this is our year of Ebenezer, which means we are helped. You know, we are helped by God. And you know, a few points I was able to write out is that Ebenezer is navigation. It is a life between who we were and who we are becoming. So this is a new year. I know a lot of people have said new year, new me. These are the things I'm going to do. I'll try as much as possible to make this very fast because I have to go. You know, people are saying new year, new me and all of that, but they have not really set boundaries for some certain things. They haven't put themselves in check, you know, to say what are the things that I'm doing that I need to change or work on or improve or stop. So, you know, where old cycles loses their authority, you know, Ebenezer informs you of the future. Means when you stay in God and you believe, you just trust Him that He's your help. Because oftentimes, you know, I don't know, me a year ago were seeing people as my helpers, right? There were relationships or people that I held on to because I thought that without this person, I would literally be nothing. And when God put them out of the way, I'm doing really fine, right? So that's to show that, you know, men will actually disappoint you. Men, women will disappoint you. But when you put your trust in God and you acknowledge that He's your helper and He's your source, yes, everything aligns. And obviously, since He knows the beginning and the end, your future is guaranteed when you stay with Him because God is literally our habitat, staying with the Word of God and praying. So yes, so how does this apply in our everyday life? It marks the death of old patterns. So there are old patterns. Everybody have their old patterns, right? And there are some people that are still trying to fight whatever they are dealing with. So this helps mark those patterns. And you know, why create boundary markers? Number one, because they serve as prophetic beginnings. They separate the past from the future. I don't know how to put this, but you know, I'm looking for an example to put, but I don't want to put that example because I don't want to put my life out there. But yes, it is self-explanatory. Hide, hide nice. And then the third one is boundary markers is a testament of the future, marker of consecration and obedience. So last year, 2024, 2025 rather, when I stepped into the year, I didn't really say, I didn't really do any vision board. By the way, I have my vision board here with me. But I told myself that I wasn't going to be depressed for any reason. No matter how life hits me hard, I would never ever be depressed. That was what I put, like, it was between me and God. Because from 2024 downwards, I used to suffer depression. When I think about it now, I'm like, what was really making me depressed? You get me? So when I entered 2025, after my POP, January, I said nothing will make me depressed. No matter how life beats me, no matter what life throws at me, I won't get to that point. Thank you so much, the nice. I won't get to that point where I'm depressed and then, looking down on myself. And 2025 was a great year, although it had some hiccups, but when I look back at those hiccups, I laugh because I can't believe that where I am today, I survived all of that. I thought I would never survive that actually, but look at me smiling and then just doing my thing. So yes, and I've stepped into this new year and I have some consecrations that I have kept in. There are some things I have said I am not going to do. I'm still trying as much as possible. It's not easy. I think one of them is listening to secular music. I don't know how I'm going to stop, but it is God that will help me. But I want to stop doing that. I had to cut off watching horror movies last year. I used to see a lot of horror movies, and I think I listened to a podcast and they spoke about some certain things about horror movies, so I had to cut loose from that. So it's still a long road, but I'm just putting that one. That's like one of the conspirations. That's one of the things I want to, say no. I wouldn't do this. I just want to, live this certain kind of life that pleases God. And accountability partner. So funny enough, during my breakup, I had an accountability partner, just in line with this. But I'm just going to tell you like a bit. I'm not going into details. Now that accountability partner was there to speak to me because I knew there were days it would hit hard, but I had to like text my accountability partner and all of that. And I think we only spoke for like 3 days. Sometimes he calls to check up on me and he's like, we've not been talking. And he's surprised and he's happy, right, that this person is not wanting to go back, or, there's some certain traits that I was seeing that time when I was talking to her. She's not doing that again. You get me? So, yeah. Accountability partner, you stop negotiating with instructions and all of that. And I can't even see my handwriting at this point. But there are structures against what you have learned, what you will do differently. To be honest, I cannot see what I'm writing. Evaluate yourself. So in the aspect of evaluating yourself, hi Tucker. In the aspect of evaluating yourself, I really did a lot of evaluation this year on myself. I've been last year, and I realized that most of the times I let my emotions get the best of me. I wouldn't want to use a scenario, but instead of using my like using my head and thinking about it in a logical way, I just let my emotions. If I want to get angry, I just, by the way, I no, I'm not going to say this one, but I just get angry, and then when I later calm down, I'm like, I shouldn't have reacted this way. You get me? Maybe I would have thought from this person's point of view, like I shouldn't have done this. This wasn't the right thing to do. And I'm so happy that I'm working on that, not letting my emotions get the best of me, because there are some things that you cannot take back when you say out of you being emotional. So yeah, that is that. I have evaluated myself, and then I know that I'm a workaholic. That is why I need to also bring, I don't know what is wrong with me, but oftentimes I want to do it by myself. My curtains in my room, I installed it by myself. I always want to do it by myself. Even I don't know why it's that way, but I just want to always do something. I can't just stay one place. I don't know what is I don't know what you would call that, but I'm trying as much as possible to take it slow. And the first step to doing that is, do I snore? No. Is it because of my voice? I'm having kata. Um, the first step is for me to actually get somebody to assist me now, and that would take that burden off of me. So yeah, that's that. If you don't know how to receive feedback, okay, um yeah, about this feedback, I think it's still like boundary markers. So there was a time last year I reached out to an old friend and I wanted him to tell me, during the time of our friendship, I wanted him to be honest with me and tell me how I was, right? And he gave me his feedback. It wasn't really bad, but he still stated something that I still spoke about my emotions, right? And I'm grateful for that, right? Because now I know that this is where I need to work on. And even down to my business, when I do work for somebody, over time I text them and I want to find out the feedback. What do you think I should do better? So as the new year begins, I think you should just evaluate yourself. You know the things that you're struggling with, you know the things that you need help with. There are people that you actually, if you need help, there are people you need to talk to. There are people that you can actually talk to. It can be your pastor, your mentor, for people that have mentors. I don't have mentor. Or your friends, the ones that have sense. Because some don't have sense. So you have to talk to the ones that have sense. Either ways. But yeah, you would see people like that. And then invest in knowledge. So I think that is even in my vision board. Let me show you my vision board. It's not showing it. But don't worry, I'll show you my vision board some other time. But I think in my vision board, part of my plan is to invest in knowledge. I have few books. I've been able to see some books and I would love to purchase them. I want to read. I don't like reading. But I used to pass it. But I don't like reading. I read to pass all the time in school. I don't read. It's just when I started doing arts, like history of art, because it was very interesting. Wow, but I'm beginning to learn, colors and all of that. I still remember. I can quote some people, some artists and all of that, but from my secondary school, primary school, I was reading to pass. So that culture of reading is not really in me. So I am trying as much as possible to learn how to read. And I think one thing I also put this year is for me to read my Bible. And I started reading Philippians 1, 2, 1, like each chapter. I stopped because of how busy I've been. And I pray that God will help me, Sha. And I pray God will help you too, because it's not really easy. But I think that's that aspect. And then what was being taught on Sunday, Vision God should not follow me. What was being taught on Sunday was still relating to what I'm talking about. God, okay, we're talking about altars. God's help is available to me. That's what we're saying. And then God wants to be the end and not a means to an end. What this means is that it's still speaking about relationship. Now, there are most people that, okay, let's put a scenario of people's relationship with their parents. In the African setting, when you hear daddy is coming, you run to your room, you want to hide, you don't want daddy to see you, or you just put some things under the bed because you want him to see you reading and all of that. I did that a lot of times. Whenever I saw my dad is coming, I would run to the room and carry my book and read, because the next thing, if he sees me watching a movie or watching cartoon, the next thing he's saying is, don't you read your books? You don't read your books? Don't you read? And all of that. So whenever I saw him, I'll just run and then carry my book and I'm reading, pretending to read or something like that. So while there are some people that, when daddy comes back, they go to hug daddy, they take his bag, maybe take off his shoe. Daddy, how was your day? So you see, those are two different relationships, right? Or let me use the one that one I'm guilty. Whenever I'm texting my father, it's for money. Whenever I'm texting my father, it's for money. Yes, I dyed my hair. Except maybe sometimes I'll be like, I'm not texting this man. Let me ask him how his day or how his work. But 80% of the times I text my father, it's either for money. But last year I haven't really texted my father for money, because now I'm making my money. So his project with me is done. I mean, he has put me in school, so I can now fly. So While there are some people that I think I have a friend that I know she makes long calls with her father, it's very interactive. She makes videos, selfies, and all of that. I mean, I really cannot relate, but I try my best. I try my best. But you see that relationship is different. Now, with me, not with me, but with some people, their relationship with their father is a bit transactional because they want to get something. That's why they remember, oh, that is there. You get me? While some people, because of how close they are. So now, that is almost the same thing with our relationship with God. It shouldn't be transactional. You shouldn't be praying to God only when you need something from Him, or when you are traveling, or you're traveling by air for the first time and all of that, or maybe something bad happens and you remember that there is a God. We should all, let me not say you should, but I'm also talking to myself, we should learn to talk to God. I started a habit of me writing to God, so I've been writing. I think every day, if I skip a day, I write the next day. I write to God. Sometimes in my bathroom, I just sing and just tell Him how wonderful He is to me, and I try to remind myself of the things that He has been doing for me, and thank Him for the ones that He's yet to do. So that is how your relationship with God should be. You should also read your Bible, meditate, stay in the Word, worship, and in as much as you're doing all of that too, make it also. I think MTN has warned me. I said I was going to make this live brief, but you have to stay. I think before I round up, you have to stay in your source. Yes, God is our source. I think I knew that last year, that God is my source, and I shouldn't look to other people. Those things are just a means, or to get to, like, my job is not really my source, right? Because I can lose my job, but God is my source. If I have Him, I have everything. So I shouldn't be scared. I shouldn't be bothered. The only thing we ought to do is to stay with Him. I mean, my pastor gave us an illustration of how a fish stays in the water. That is its habitat, right? The fish cannot come out of the water because that is its habitat. If it comes out, it's going to die. But us, if we actually enter the water, we have to come out because we can't stay in for a long time. You watch Titanic, which other movie with somebody drown? So that is the same way God is our source. God is our source. God is our habitat, right? So how do we stay in Him? By reading, right? By staying in the Word. All the times I want to evangelize, I'm always scared. But God has not given me the spirit of shyness and all of that. And then, yes, I've also learned to be audacious too. I've learned to be audacious, and because me, a year ago, I was really, really shy. I'm still shy in person, but I'm learning how to, be audacious and all of that. So, I don't know if I was following, but I think, how do you build this altar? Every requirement for worship and devotion has been, I didn't get that, but how do you build altars? If we see how traditional worshippers, when they worship their gods, you see how they break eggs. Or when I was in Ebonyi State one time, let me tell you a story. I was walking, I just love to walk. I was walking and I saw a plate of food in a stream, right? And funny enough, I was really hungry, but I'm not stupid to go and carry that food to eat. And when I asked questions, because I love to ask questions when I see stuff like that, because I saw a lot of crazy things in Ebonyi State, I asked, and that's the way they sacrifice. I think one other time, somebody put a dead chicken in a stick and hung it in the entrance of their house. And you don't enter these people's houses. You have to clap before they let you in. Don't worry, I didn't enter inside that. I cannot enter inside that kind of thing. So those are the kind of altars some people build, and they service their altars. Maybe human beings, goat, chicken, or whatever. And then, we have Jesus. How do we service our altar? Not like the traditional worshippers, right? There is worship, there's prayer, there is meditation. What again? I think those are the three things. But I'm really, really big on worship because I have learned how to be expressive this year. I'm doing really well. I think somebody got me angry yesterday or day before yesterday, and me I would just bottle up and pretend like everything is fine. But I spoke out, and I told the person, and today we are laughing like nothing happened. So yeah, so you have to be expressive. You have to tell him how much you love him, right? Because if I even want to look back at my life, how far I've come, it can only be God. Actually, it is not man, because it can only be him. I know some accidents that I had when I was in secondary school that probably would have gotten me killed. I wouldn't have been here. But when I think about how God saved me from the slightest, like something that would have ended my life. What are you doing here? Carry on. Something that would have ended my life. I am always grateful. Or is it how long I stayed last year from almost March to July, and nobody called me for sip and paint or face painting or wall painting or any of that, and I almost gave up on my business up until November. That is when my turning point started happening. I think January is the most busiest I've ever been. I'm just tired. I'm tired, honestly. I would have to end this live because I'll be traveling tomorrow and I won't go live for a very long time. Yes, till probably I get back. So I have to go and walk because I'm not sure I'll carry my laptop alongside me. So I think that's it. I just wanted to tell you guys about my sermon and whatever not whatever, what I've learned from church so far. And yes, it's just that I'm sad because I'm supposed to put out content for Curious Jess, and I'm supposed to start my painting. Now, when I think about it, it's giving me a headache, but I can't start for now, right? I was supposed to set up my space, but I can't do that for now till I'm back. Like I'm feeling back to the back. So, thank you for watching me rant and tell you guys about my sermon review. I hope you have a nice week. Today's Monday. Have a nice week. Bye.